Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Joshua and this is Rooftop. Now it's been a while, we had Diwali holidays. I hope everyone, got to have fun, celebrate, meet their family, and maybe just sleep if you want to. So now that we're back, we're trying to come up with something different, maybe a type of a series you could say. But before I give you any more information on that, let's have a look at what we're going to be creating today. So today we're creating a charcoal landscape painting. So the materials that I'll be using is just this piece of paper and some charcoal sticks. So the type of charcoal sticks that I'm using, now we have different types. Now I've mentioned this before, but today we are going to be using willow charcoal sticks. So we have charcoal pencils, we have charcoal compressed charcoal sticks, we have willow charcoal sticks, and then we have this plain charcoal powder. So from all of those, we are using again willow charcoal. Now, why am I using this? That is because this type of charcoal is a lot softer and it's a lot more easier to blend. So let's see how we can start with it. I hope I am audible. Okay, I do seem to be audible. Yeah. Okay, I'll just place this paper down and we are ready to go. Oh, hold on. Oh, now we're ready to go. I was wondering, like, is there something missing in this? Okay. So now when we start with our charcoal painting, right? What we first do is we start with a very light sketch. No dark lines, no outlines as such. We are going to be using lines, but in a very light manner or in a very soft manner, you could say. So what I'll do is I'll just keep this one here. Okay. Now I think what I can do is I can even add a reference image. You can add the reference image to here. Okay, so I'll just make this slightly bigger, or I think that should be big enough. Okay. So now let's start. Now if we look at the reference right there, we can see that we have a horizon here in this line. So the horizon basically in simple terms would be where the sky and the land meet. So the middle line or where the ocean and the sky meet. But in other terms, in more of an academic term, it would be our eye level or how high our vision is. So we'll start off by drawing that. So now I have a relatively long piece of charcoal, but if you want, you can even take, oh, okay, you can even take a different piece, it doesn't matter. I've got different sizes over here, which if you want to, reduce the size of your charcoal, you can just snap it in half. Right now, I'm not snapping this in half because I already have charcoal sticks here. There seems to be something missing. I think this one. There you go. Much better. Alright, now let's begin. So I will start off by drawing this horizon line, which should come just above center. So if this is the center of a page, just above it. So from here, I'll just very lightly draw a line. I think I can take this a little bit higher. Good enough. Or is that too high? So if you want to erase also, right, you can just slightly brush over this. So I think from here, I have a line down there. And then what I can do is for the clouds, I can just start very roughly marking out where I want each part to, sort of be or place it. little there. Okay, you can see it's very light, it's very subtle. Okay, because most of the charcoal techniques that we do, or the most part of the drawing that we're going to do, is going to come in the shading part. The drawing is just to put down the elements and place them where you want it to be, but that's about it. Okay, now from here, that, okay, I'll put that also there. Now this side we can have, again I'm doing it super light, just like that. And this part also will come here and go down there. Okay, and now just below this you can have this other piece of land. Right there, and then this will come, I think right about there is good enough. There, like that. All right. One second. Okay, so we have this part ready here. Now we can start with the shading part. So you'll go from light to dark, not from dark to light. Now there are times where you can start from the middle tone and then remove a little bit of the charcoal for the lighter colors and then add more charcoal for the darker colors. But in this we'll go for a bit of a mix. In certain areas we'll go light to dark, and then in certain areas we'll go from mid to then light and dark. So I'll start with let's say the top half or the top portion of this drawing. Before I do that, I'll just make sure my charcoal is pretty flat. So it's not necessary you just go up and down. You can go sideways also, you can go diagonally. It's just that for this part I want to do it, vertically rather than top and bottom. I go like that, but you can see it's still a bit patchy, right? So what I will do is, before I do that, I'll just finish these area first. I'll just very gently, the reason why I say gently is because I'm not using that much pressure. Okay, now if you want, you can use a tissue, you can use a Q-tip, or you can, like myself, use your finger. I prefer doing it with my finger because it gives me more control. So I just prefer this method, but you can do with whatever you are comfortable with. here as well. So now we need to think of it in layers. So like a light color, then a slightly darker color, slightly darker, darker, darker. In that sense, not light, middle, and dark, not just three tones, or not just light and dark in two-dimensional sense. But we'll try to add more depth to it, or we'll try to add more layers to it. Okay, so now over here, can start by adding, you can even go for a more circular motion if you want. There you go, like that. Over here also, I'll just start blending it, bits and pieces. See, right there. On the right side also. Now if I want to darken any part, I'll just add a bit towards the center, if you look at the reference. Maybe a little bit here. Now I will darken, shade this part in. Now remember, once you start shading it, it will start becoming lighter. So we don't want to make it too bright as well. And if you have charcoal already on your tissue or on your finger, it will immediately start getting dark. If you look at this part here, it will start getting darker like that. Or it will start going inside of the paper. Yeah. Now we can add for this part, this area in the sky. Now for this, I'm doing it a bit directional so that you can get those lines going left and right. And then in this area here, let's start by giving this part an outline like that. If you see, while I'm doing this, I'm lifting it upwards. I'm not just going sideways, I'm flicking it upwards or outwards. Let's see, like over here, I'm just flicking it upwards. Like that. A little bit there. So if you want, you can even use a brush. But if you do use a brush, it'll be a very light, it'll be a very soft kind of blend. It won't be very strong as how it would be with your finger. One second. Yeah. Okay. Now I will put this part here. Same with this area. This part will go slightly upwards. Now over here I'm putting medium pressure so that I can just start building upon this area. There you go, like that. Okay, now we can start adding the bottom part, and then we'll go back and forth between the top and bottom in case we need to add some things. Like this here. Same thing on this side. Okay, then I'll just start blending this. Well, I'll just start softening it out basically. Think of it as that. But now if you see, when I try to do this, right, it gets darker. But if I want to say lighten this area up here, I'll use a finger that does not have charcoal, and then there, you see how it's become light? I'll just show you again. See, it's become so much lighter. And then with the finger that I do have charcoal, I can darken it. There you go, like that. Then I'll take this longer piece of charcoal, make sure I'm using a pointed side, or the sharp side. And then very gently I'll just start going over it. There you see, very gently, very softly. There. It's starting to really come together. Yeah. There you go. That looks nice. On this side, I can just start to soften it up a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Okay. And then over here, I'll add this part down a little bit here. So now I'm just placing stuff around. This part I can darken. So you can see how shabby it looks initially in the beginning. Now this I will take, I will just soften this out. Okay, I've softened that out, and then I will take this and I will start. No, I'll do this in a bit. I'll do the bottom part first. So here I'm just using the weight of my finger. Now you can come up with your own technique also to get certain textures, you could say. So these aren't like fixed techniques where you have to learn it and you have to practice it this way, then learn the technique. I'm not doing anything like that. These are just you could say observations that I see, and how do I put it? So now if you look at the image, you can see that the side has a lot of lines going towards the left or towards the right, correct? So what I do is I'll be, okay, how can I do that? Knowing how charcoal is, it is soft, it's easy to blend. What I thought was, okay, I'll put one tone of charcoal down in a very light manner, and very gently with my finger I'll just swipe it left, so then that motion that my finger creates will have those lines presented on the paper. So in that way you can really come up with your own techniques. So there is no fixed way of using charcoal, but you would need to understand how charcoal works, and certain things will be very similar with everyone, and then there will be certain aspects which make their work unique. This is where it will differ. See how this part goes up. Now I would use a brush, but all my brushes are wet, so wouldn't really be a good choice to do so. Over here, then I can just start pulling this to the side. I think it bent a little bit. There you go, like that. And I can come back to it, make it a bit darker, and then start pulling it to the side. Just like this, and then the side here I can start darkening. Just like that. Then so not every part needs to, be blended. But certain parts, to get certain effects, at some point would get blended eventually. So over here, very gently I can add this there. I can remove a little bit and then drag certain parts down also. Okay, now I can add this island here. We won't make a straight line, we'll keep it very zigzaggy, you could say, or very uneven. Zigzaggy. I've never used that word in my life. Yeah, you can keep it a bit uneven here, and then this side. Just like that over there. Same thing here. Okay. And then this side as well. I'm just trying to figure out how to hold this paper without trying to, darken the light areas. Just like this. Oh, you can see how now it's starting to, you can see the depth of it all, going back towards the landscape. And here we have a bit of water, which of course still needs some work to be done. Like that. Okay. Now we can start working on this area here, this grassland, which should be, where is that? Here, this part. There. Now this area is pretty dark, so I would need to hold it down. Okay, I think this works properly. As long as your charcoal isn't being spread unwantedly, you're good to use anything you want. I'll keep a bit of gap also in between, so that we can show that there's water seeping through. There's a little light also bouncing off on the inside. And this side here. This. Yeah. A little bit there. Now even in this, what I will do is I will blend it very slightly and then start going over it again. Just like that. Now also remember one thing, if you look at this area here, the texture of the paper will also come onto the table. And if there is anything below your paper, say between the paper and the table, once you go over it, that part will get darkened. So it will look like a very odd spot. So just make sure that the paper you're using doesn't have any creases in it or anything of such sort, to avoid any unnecessary complications. Over here with very little pressure, I will do this side, and then the same thing for the interior also. So now I'm doing this part very softly. Here as well, again very gently, and you can go over the same area 1-2 times or a couple of times. There. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we can come back here and darken this. There, that looks much better. Yeah, just like that. And then over here, let me just rotate this a little bit. Very lightly I will start pulling this down. Yeah, there you go. It's starting to look like water ripples. Oh, reflections on water. And then the same thing this side. I will just add this part downwards over here. Okay, very gently, not too much pressure. Same thing this side. Oh, I hope I don't get charcoal on my face. Yeah. And a little downwards there. Now the only reason I'm darkening it like this is because it's going to lighten up. So the sideways, downwards, sideways, downwards. To get that reflection, and then where it needs to be darker, I will come back and darken these areas up. Like that. Okay, and then if there are certain areas that you feel that are not light or dark enough, you can always come back and redo those areas. So I will take this, just go sideways like that, a bit over here, maybe upwards. Then I can take my eraser. So I'm using a clay eraser here. You can see charcoal can make your fingers get a bit dirty. I will take this and just start erasing certain parts that need to be erased. Yeah. So there you go. That was our charcoal landscape painting. Now let me try carrying this without really damaging it. Hold on, actually, yeah, just like that. So this is a slightly, I wouldn't say abstract, but it's more of an impressionistic style. I'm not going to draw each and every tree, each and every leaf. It's just more of capturing the essence of the entire scene. So thank you so much for joining me, and we will be having another workshop at 5 p.m. So don't forget to join that, and I will see you all again very soon. So take care and bye-bye.